Hello, my name is Nathan and I'll be doing a tutorial on how to make Space Invaders Part 1. So we'll be using the Cocos 2DX engine to basically input our graphical UI and to also put up our sprites. So of course to use that we have to use the include file header file for cocos2d.h, and then we're going to start creating our own classes such as ship.h and enemyship.h. And then we're going to include a UI a GUI, which is just a graphical user interface to input the graphics on the command, and our simple ISO stream. So we have our obviously our using namespace standard, and we'll be also using Cocos 2D and UI. And for this header file and CPP, it will be hello world scene, which is kind of like our main CPP, and is going to be the place for us to use our classes and implement them in the app. First off, we'll be working with hello world scene.h and hello world scene.cpp. Basically, the CPP is kind of like our main for this application, and the .h, we're going to be using a class called hello world, which is going to inherit from Cocos 2DX and layers. The purpose of this is to allow us to create a scene inheriting from the Cocos 2DX, and also we're going to create a virtual boolean init, which is basically initiates the Cocos 2D iPhone simulator and allows us to input our code and properties. And moving on, we have a menu close callback, which is just a selector callback, and also helps out in closing the application smoothly. And then we'll be creating a manual static create function, which just basically calls the hello world scene. And then for our privates, we're going to be using a ship pointer to a ship, and our enemy ship class pointer to enemy ship. Before moving on to the hello world scene.cpp, I'd like to go over our ship class. And our ship class is basically our player, and that we can move from left to right. And first we have a constructor, which is a layer, and it's pointing to the layer from hello world scene.h, and it basically allows us to have a sprite position inside the simulator. And then moving on, we have a void function that allows us to move from right to left. And then we have some variables that allows us to manipulate our x and y coordinates. So basically it creates the movement from left to right. And we have to call from the class sprite, and we're going to create a pointer that's called a ship sprite, and initiates the sprite for our ship. On our CPP, we're going to go to our constructor, and then we're going to declare origin and visible size, and we're going to inherit from the Cocos 2D class and from director, and just basically it gets our position in the screen. And then also we have to make our sprite pointer and create the sprite node for us, and when we create it, it allows us to put our PNG file, which is just the image that's going to be displayed over the sprite. And now we have to set the location. For our integer position x, we're going to use the visible size width and divided by 2 plus origin of x, and basically that just puts us right dead in the center. And then once we put the pointer set position to point, we lower it all the way down to the bottom of the screen so we can have our sprite dead center. And then the ship body allows us to create the physical presence of our sprite and just display it on the screen. And then we have to add the child, which just basically creates an object for us. After we finished our sprite in our constructor, we could use our void functions for move sprite right and move sprite left, and pretty much we have to create an action using one of the inherit functions from move by to create a kind of like an illusion of moving from left to right. So all we do is just give a vector value of 50, so we could push it plus 50 to the right, and then for the left we subtract 50. So it makes that effect where you're moving on the x-axis from left to right. As for our enemy ship class, we pretty much do the same thing, but we change, instead of having just one sprite, we're going to create a vector of images using a string, and then we just put the image name PNG, and then we for loop it through the loop of the size of the vector. And then once we do that, you just call it and it creates almost like an array or a matrix of sprites. And that's pretty much it for part 1 of my tutorial. And as you can see here in the simulator, you can move left to right with this, and you can see the multi-dimensional array of the enemy sprites, and you can move it left to right. That's it. Thank you.